So, this is my own opinion. Your songs would not exactly be classified as radio friendly for several reasons. One of which would be like the length of the songs, which is what I wanted to get into right now. What's the strategy, if there is one, behind the shorter songs, if there is one?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. At first, like I said before, they were like made in order to have them on Instagram and they had to be under 30 seconds. But when the moment came to record them for an album, I was like, I'm gonna add like a sound design for the songs, so like a little intro, a little outro, a clip here and there, some sound effects. So that made the songs be a little longer, still under a minute, but now day and age with TikTok and whatnot, and the attention span of people that like consume content, they don't have a big like attention span. So it's like this is perfect. The songs are gonna be short and sweet, and people are gonna like A, maybe want more if they didn't have enough of it. B, they're not gonna lose attention when they're watching it. So that's kind of like the thought process behind the song being so short.
So basically, the idea behind it is to try to utilize the short form content and attention spans of today's listener rather than trying to go the traditional route of terrestrial radio and things like that.
100%. I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't think a lot of people when the songs went public, not everyone understood that. Some people's like, wait, what's wrong with this? This is not a song. Like I'm missing something. And I was
Hmm.
like, no, it's because the purpose is not to be the traditional 3.5 minute song, and
Right.
you're not understanding the concept. Some people caught it on the first cut glance, but some people didn't understand it. Some people praised it. Some people were like, no, dude, this is not for me. I didn't have enough. So it's like,
Well, it's funny because I know a lot of artists that are on the other side of the coin that are, storytellers, and the songs will end up 6, 7, 8 minutes long,
mhm,
because the story is the story, and you don't want to stop the song until the story has been told. And with this, it's not necessarily that you're telling a story, it's just a snippet of something that's happening on the planet at any given moment.
yeah.
And that's what you're wanting to do, is kind of share your almost your opinion on that snippet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on, man. That makes me happy. Oh, also, I gotta mention my buddy Marco from Colorado. He has a band, and his songs are super short too.
Okay.
And I've seen him play shows, and the like the reaction from the crowd with short songs, it's incredible. Like I never knew that could be a thing. I was like, wait a minute, people are not gonna be able to get into the songs if the songs are short. I was so wrong with that. I've seen
That's
it like
funny. I was going to
research
ask you
with
that
the
because, I mean, traditionally, a live show is, depending on the act, it's typically 3 or 4 hours long. That's how much music the venue wants for the money they're paying. A lot of
Mhm.
times, punk bands or metal bands or whatever, they'll share that 4 hours with three or four other acts. So, like, with the shorter songs, how is it like to fill that time span in order to meet the
So
venues?
that's a very good question. We have plenty of more songs, and we can also throw like a cover here and there, which would have like a traditional format. But like I said, I watch my buddies band with short format tunes, and then what they do is they play a tune, and like the next one starts right away. They don't stop, so it's like da 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 da
So
da
it's
end of
it's
the song. One, two,
transitionary
three.
essentially. It's just
So
transitionary.
basically, it's a nonstop
Yeah.
set that
Yep.
they play, and people love that shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was so surprised because I thought that wasn't a thing that could work, but my buddy proved me wrong. So after that, I was like, that's definitely a way to do
That's amazing. I love to hear
it.
stuff like that. Just hearing people, who are revolutionary, trying to change the way things are consumed is just
Yeah,
amazing as a fan.
yeah.
So again, we mentioned, or you mentioned, the project was basically you on everything and Marco on drums. So how much time and effort is required from your end of that to put all of the pieces together and then send it off to Marco?
So that's a very good question. So how the songs are written will be me on my acoustic guitar and singing, or yes, like babbling words or like syllables or whatever.
Hmm.
So that will be the birth of the song. That's how I started. That's my songwriting process. After that, I'll get into my DAW and record the guitar, and after that, I build up upon with all the layers, bass, uh, second guitar, lead guitars, harmonies, and whatnot. And then after that, I will send it to Marco. He'll have that. We use the same software to work with Logic, and he records the drums on top of it. For this album, he recorded everything with 2 microphones. So the drums are recorded with only 2 microphones. Something to keep in mind, because some people have gotten some feedback like, this doesn't sound like a top-notch studio. I'm like, dude, we recorded this in a basement with 2 crappy microphones.
Yeah, what
like,
part of DIY didn't you understand, bro?
Super DIY. So that said, the end result, we're super, super, super stoked of how it came out, due to the circumstances how we did it.
Mm.
So that's kind of the process. He'll record some drums, send it back to me. We'll discuss them, and then we move forward from there.
And so the album, again, we haven't mentioned it yet, but the album is No Cap, and that's 11 songs. But you also went ahead and also did 11 videos for the songs, which you're super stoked about and proud of, which you should be. So why did you feel that creating videos for every one of the songs on the album was important?
So since the songs were so short, I wanted to give it some like a added value to it. So I'm like, I work with media. That's what I do for a living, like design and graphics and whatnot. So I was like, I might as well just add a little video for each of the songs. Like the songs are short enough that you can make like a short video.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I love the idea, especially in the world we live in right now, with where everything's like so content based, like online content type thing. I was like, this is not going to hurt. In any case, it could be so beneficial, and it doesn't cost me anything because I already do it like for a living and whatnot. So that's why I decided to add the 11 songs as well.
You know, it's funny because when did you release the album? What year?
December 1st, 2023.
So it's kind of funny because recently I've noticed, as somebody in the music business, a lot of the bigger artists are putting, like Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish and, you know, all of the mainstream folks, they're putting together their albums with a new kind of format called visualization videos, which is kind of like not necessarily an official video fully animated, but it's also not necessarily just a standard static image either. And that's what you remind me of. Like all of these visualization videos that I'm seeing nowadays from the huge artists, you were doing this shit way before they were doing it. And that's pretty dope, I think so. I think that's pretty dope.
Absolutely. I think one of my inspirations were, or like an artist that I saw doing that, and maybe they were like pioneers on it, was Deftones. They were doing that.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, okay, I see that. I can do something similar. Why not? Also, Spotify now, when you play the songs, they have like a 6 to 10 second video that they play while you listen to the song.
Right.
So this type of content and this type of video production, it aligns with that perfectly.
Yep.
So everything is in a good spot.
Well, I mentioned Billie Eilish, and she's a good example of this. Her new record is "Hit Me Hard and Soft," and literally the visualization video she's putting out with her songs is just her walking. It's just her walking. That's it. Just walking around a stage, and there's no background, and it looks like she's in like, you know, like a netherworld or something. And I'm here to tell you, just having something to look at while you're listening, people are going to listen more, I think, because of that. And all you got to do is film her walking for 20 seconds and just loop it, bro. Like, that's all you got to do.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because we got one visualizer, official visualizer, the only one for now, which is I strapped a camera to the back of my car, and it has like,
oh, I love it.
It's showing the sticker, the Adios Fatso sticker in the car, and then the environment. And I just drove around Boston, and that's the visualizer.
That's smart. It's such a smart concept, man. I love that you're doing that. And that's the video I was talking about, that I wanted the whole visualization, because I'll tell you, if you're just looking at a static image, it doesn't do as much for the eyeball. You're still going to listen perhaps because it's a shorter song, but like, I want to see more, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to watch a second time and a third time because I want to see what's going on in the background. I love that shit, man. Kudos on that.